Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another Theme Park Obsession video. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. I am back in Southern California and we're kicking it off strong here at Universal Studios Hollywood. So how about you and I dive right in? Oh, would you look at that? I am back in Southern California. Look at this. This is a nice, beautiful, sunny day, not a cloud in sight. And it's not even cold either. It's actually like 100 degrees. Yeah, no, I don't know what's up with this weather. I feel like our summer is actually during Halloween time. It's crazy. I don't get it. Successfully made it in the park, and yeah, it's busy because of Grad Bash, and a lot of people are hitting up the Hollywood and Dime because it's all decked out for Jaws 50th anniversary. Look at all the tasty treats they have available. They have the Amity Beach Lifesaver Donut. They have an Amity Island Parfait, fish and chips, and a lobster roll. Dang. Yeah, the wait times are a little brutal today. We got 60 minutes for Mummy, about an hour for Jurassic World, an hour for Mario Kart. Yeah, it's busy. But again, that's just because of the Grad Bash mix-in. If you come here on a Grad Bash, just keep that in mind. There's probably gonna be a lot of kids in the park, and they start coming in, I think, at like 3 or 4 o'clock. So just be prepared. I'm just gonna jump right into it here at the Parisian Courtyard. Work continues on the Halloween Horror Nights haunted house. Here's what the facade is looking like, and the facade is looking fantastic. The company is still yet to reveal what this one is, but man, oh man, this is going to be another elaborate front entrance statement, which, hey, you know what I love? Just like I've said in previous years, I'm glad that they are investing a lot of money in the facade. It makes a huge difference. And crews are working on it right now, but my goodness, yeah, this is gonna be pretty elaborate. I mean, this is extremely large in person. I mean, look at my finger compared to the haunted house. It's insane. My bets are on this one being another original haunted house because the past couple years, this location has been original. But now that we know the facade is this large, I'm really looking forward to the eventual detail as we get closer to the opening of the event. And I'm wondering if they're gonna have some like windows right here because you can see these little pieces are starting to come together. I think within the next like month and a half, we're gonna really see some details start to appear, and then we'll get a better idea of what this is, because right now it's a little too barren to try to determine what this is supposed to be. But let's go ahead and make our way over to French Street to see what the side looks like. Yeah, it's not really looking too different on this side, but you can see the vertical construction is there. So that means that the layout is probably done as far as the initial lumber is concerned. And they'll go ahead and move to the more intricate detailing as time goes on. Made it to the lookout to check up on Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift this week. As you can see, this main part of the layout, there's really no visible change, at least that I can see, except for the addition of more LSM fins down there. You zoom in. Yeah, you can see all of them are pretty much ready to go. Well, almost all of them. That's looking pretty good. And then everything else, yeah, it's nothing too earth-shattering. I've only been gone for a few days, so I wasn't expecting too much to change on site, but it's still pretty fun to come to the park and check it out. Those LSM fins are not easy to install. I mean, it takes them some time because there's so many of them. Look at that. I wonder if they've gotten over here yet. Yeah, see? Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit more. Still no visible progress on the sound wall. That's all looking the same. But as I pan up to the show building, you can see very closely near the top of the show building that more lighting has been installed. So that's looking nice. And then I missed it, but this morning they were doing a push-pull test. They've been doing that the past couple days with one of the ride vehicles, and they will continue to do that throughout the entire layout. It's gonna get a little bit crazy once they go in, the inversion areas like this right here. Once they get to the stall, the push-pull is gonna be fun to watch, and maybe if we're lucky, we'll get to see that during the day, like midday instead of the early mornings, because sometimes I'm just really not here early in the morning. I usually get here mid to late afternoon. But yeah, everything looking solid this week, just like the previous few weeks. And slowly but surely things are starting to get finished. And I'm sure the inside of that building is looking a little bit different week by week as well. Maybe I won't be so lazy and get here early in the morning when park opens, and we'll get lucky and see the push-pull test up here, because I have a feeling they're gonna work in this area for a couple days, and then they'll eventually make their way to the rest of the layout as they finish a few other things like power. Remember, they gotta power this bad boy up, so they're in the process of hooking all of the block sections up and the LSMs and all that kind of fun stuff. So Yeah, maybe I'll come here in the morning the next couple weeks and check it out. But that's pretty much everything on this side. There's really not too much to talk about. I mean, I could pretend to talk about things. I could pretend to talk about this over here. Like, yeah, look at this dirt. You see the bushes? Here, let me zoom in on the bushes. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Or, you know, maybe I could talk about Megan 2.0. Not sponsored. Did you miss me? Well, not really, because I didn't even see the first one. So there you go. But let's go ahead and continue the journey back through French Street and to the front of the Fast and the Furious building, and then downstairs towards the lower lot. But you know what? Look at that. There's the back end of the ride vehicle right there. At least one ride vehicle for the attraction. I'm looking forward to seeing the continued push-pull test like out here in the open and not inside the show building, because yeah, it is pretty difficult to see, but how neat. Made it over here to the escalators, and look at this. They've taken down the chain link fence that was around this location. And now we get a nice little view of what will probably be the extended queue area for the coaster. Yeah, look at that. Get some pretty nice views of that valley right before the final turnaround over the escalator too. Well, that's cool. And look at this, if you look a little bit closely, you can see some stairs right there. And you know where those stairs lead? To the cotton candy room. Well, I'm loving that. Now we can have a little better view, you know, underneath the station and just in this general area. Also, I just overheard someone say, look, this is new. Yes, it is new. And you know what else is new? These giant support columns for the canopy. It's gonna look similar to this for this area right here. Those support columns are massive. Like, OMG, that is insane. I mean, look at the difference compared to the coaster column. I mean, these are pretty large as well, because you gotta remember, these gotta hold up so much weight, but these, I mean, dang, did Godzilla put these up? Yeah, that's intense. Wow, and it's only gonna get taller because I got a few more pieces to go to get up to that track right there. I mean, I knew they were gonna be pretty big because, yeah, they have to hold up a lot of weight, but dang, I was not expecting it to be that intense. Well, I'm gonna be really curious to see what it all looks like when it's finished. I feel like the canopy is gonna be a lot larger than I think it's gonna be. And you know, Universal still hasn't released any sort of concept art for this stuff yet, so it's all one big mystery as to what the final product is gonna look like when it comes to the Scream Shield, but I have a feeling it's gonna look very similar to the escalator ones. I just can't wait for this ride to open. I mean, we're inching closer and closer to the opening time frame, which is sometime, I would think, early next year. I've had a few people ask me when I think it's gonna open, and I think it's gonna be, you know, very early next year. Very similar to Nintendo's opening. I think Nintendo opened up, what, February or March of the following year, so I think the same thing here for Fast and the Furious. Now, probably to the most exciting thing in today's video, look at this. The backside of trees and retaining walls. OMG. Yeah, hold on, everybody. This is about as thrilling as it's gonna get in today's video. I know, a lot of you are literally on the edge of your seat and on the edge of switching me off and turning on another YouTube video, but yeah, this is some intense stuff. Oh yeah, and you know what else is intense? The work happening on this HHN haunted house right behind Revenge of the Mummy. They've applied the base coat to the facade there. That's that first initial like fire coating base. And I'm sure the rest of the haunted house has received the similar treatment, except for the back half there. Only a few bits and pieces have received that black paint. And again, I'm pretty stoked that they extended out beyond the tent's perimeter, which is really cool. They do that from time to time. Still not really sure what this one is supposed to be either. The facade is one big mystery, and it looks like a vignette style facade, so some sort of scene is being played out right there. Can't wait to see the details though. And then way off in the distance behind Transformers, you can see that facade for that HHN haunted house is moving along pretty nicely. And yeah, I think it's safe to say that one is Scarecrow, because it looks identical to, you know, the facade that we had a couple years ago when that haunted house was here, which by the way was an amazing haunted house. So if that ends up being true, hey, you know what? I'm okay with that. It was pretty awesome, and you never know, they might switch things up a little bit in this version. Still very curious to see if they're gonna do any work over here. They have a lot of, you know, things going on in the bushes. You can see the orange like fence, like that temporary plastic fence they got going on. So my best guess is that they'll finish this and then they'll move on to the rest of the hill. Because yeah, why would they have all of that fencing in? And for good measure, here's another view of the HHN haunted house behind Revenge of the Mummy. Yeah, still a big mystery here. But at the time of making this video, Halloween Horror Nights did tease some stuff on social media. So maybe here within the next day or two, we'll get an announcement. Okay, now as I'm making my way to the park, I've made it into the Animation Studios store, and look, they have a bunch of How to Train Your Dragon merchandise. It's like I'm back at Epic Universe all over again. But this is all for the new movie coming out here very, very soon, which I have a feeling is going to do very, very good. Look at this, they even have a Toothless hanging out in here. That's pretty cool. I wonder if they're gonna bring back the Toothless meet and greet that they had here at Hollywood a couple years ago. That was pretty awesome. I don't know if they have that in the pipeline, but that would be pretty neat. I mean, this will do, I guess. And yes, they have the How to Train Your Dragon popcorn bucket, baby Toothless popcorn bucket for $34.99. And remember, just like the other popcorn buckets, if you hold on to your receipt, you'll be able to get hooked up with the popcorn throughout the day. There was a lot of grad night kids coming into the park, and that was my cue to head on out. I am not gonna be mixed in with that. I already know how that goes. I've worked a couple grad nights here at the park, and the kids can get pretty crazy. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, they're graduated, they're done, you know? Okay, really quickly, let's check up on a couple things at CityWalk, and then we'll call it. I think that's gonna do it for today's very quick video. Really wasn't too many out of control things to talk about. That's okay, still fun to get my steps in and enjoy the park for a little bit. Here's your latest look at the Woody Woodpecker lot, and my goodness, it seems like every single week there's just a significant amount of progress, especially over here on the far end with the rebar. Look at all that. Holy guacamole. That's gonna be some serious concrete work over there. Don't really know what this is all supposed to look like. Allegedly, this is a new security checkpoint, and I'm sure will be the beginning stages of the alleged new hotel coming in this spot. Look at all the buses, by the way, for the grad night. But yeah, here you go. That's the latest look. No visible changes over here at Slice House, but you know what? I've had Slice House. I tried it not too long ago. My buddy Aaron was the first one to introduce me to Slice House. And OMG, this pizza is so good. And then work on Raising Cane's is continuing to develop because now they have these giant construction fences hyping people up. They even like a step and repeat and everything. And then for those wondering, on the far end over there, yeah, the Escapology escape rooms have officially opened up, so that's cool. And that's pretty much about it for CityWalk and Universal Studios Hollywood. Look at all the kids coming in. Yeah, I left at a perfect time. But that is going to do it for today's video from Universal Studios Hollywood. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love these videos and more, well, you can consider subscribing because I have brand new videos every single week. And also, if you want to help support the channel directly and make a lot of these videos possible, I'll leave that link down below in the description as well. Don't forget to follow me on X and Instagram. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. And I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.